My name's Gaz. Just want to tell a little story. Basically where it all started, the reasons that kind of put me to addiction and where I am now actually in recovery. My first obsession addiction started at a very, very early age with the Premier League football stickers. The obsession to complete this book, it'd be all I'd think about. I used to get my pocket money on a Friday. I'll be at the shop before it even opened. Spend all my money, and when I didn't get the stickers that I needed to complete this book, then I'd go into crime, which would be sort of stealing from my mum, going up to my nan's, stealing from her, literally anyone's house that I could get in, I'd steal money. And I didn't think of anything wrong there, because all I had my mind on was completing this book, which ended up getting me into quite a lot of trouble. So that was my first addictive tendencies that were there. I moved to my dad's when I was younger, which weren't a good choice. My family at home with just my mum, my sisters was good, but because she was a single mum, she couldn't give me the things I need. I was kind of obsessed with materialistic things. I always wanted nice clothes, the best computers, whatever I had. It was never enough. I always wanted that more. Quickly come apparent to me when I first moved to my dad's, I'd made a massive mistake. He was a big time drug dealer, arms dealer. He was just basically a schizophrenic nutcase, and where I should have had that love and care that I had, I never had that from him. It was just literally just every single form of abuse that he could have inflicted on me, he did. And it was a very, very painful, emotionally and physical painful time for me, which it's only just now, since going into the BAC, I've had to talk about these things that happened to me as a young kid that have actually helped me gain some closure on things. Social services took me off him, when I was 14, and I came back to live with my mum. But yeah, I was kind of lost. I didn't know what a normal childhood was. I had low self-esteem, low self-worth. Started smoking cannabis, and I was never happy with the normal kids that were playing football, because of seeing how much money my dad used to make from the selling the drugs, the violence and things. That's kind of how I thought I'd be making my money and things. So from an early age, I started buying little bits of cannabis, breaking it up, selling it to people at school and things, to make money. Very violent from a very early age. Caused, I've inflicted some life-changing injuries on people now, which at the time and even before I went into the BAC, I didn't have any remorse for those things that I did, but now I do. And every now and again now I do think of, some of the things that I've done in addiction, and it does hurt. And I have to remind myself that that was never me that did those things. The feelings that I get now in recovery is just, when I say it's like the gift that keeps on giving, it's just for me to wake up and being peaceful every day with not wanting the will to use, is a miracle itself. Yeah, from say 14 up to 17, it was just cannabis. Moved to Coventry, got involved in gang violence in Coventry. It's basically just going around robbing everyone. Yeah, it was just a very violent few years, but at the time it helped me gain acceptance as well. So that's something that I'd yearned for, which was love. I never really had that, from a child, so I found that in the gang members, and the more violent I was, the more I was liked and loved. I get invited round to people's homes with the parents, and having food with them, just feeling like I was worthy. And all the way up until I was 34 years of age, that's how I lived my life. It was just, just through violence, taxing people, doing big grows, just selling all the way through my life, because I never knew any other way. And even got to a point where, I'd try and fix myself by having children. But I was never I thought, right, if I have kids, this is going to calm me down. If I get a partner, this is going to calm me down. Get my own house, but Now looking back on it now, it was never ever going to fix me, because it was all external things. You know, I hadn't mended actually what was inside of me. And yeah, when I was like 34 years of age, I remember watching a film, and there was a traumatic experience on there that actually just triggered something off inside me. I remember just passing out. It was just black, sorry. Just woke up and I just like smashed my house to bits. I didn't know why, but then for some reason I'd like this urge to go to heroin. For some reason I was that broken inside. I was looking on YouTube for people that had been in the cell. I knew what had happened to me, but I like covered it up, you know, covered up with violent stuff my whole life. Looking on YouTube, and I was basically searching just to kind of get someone to see that someone else had gone through what I'd gone through. And the people that were on there, you know, it was basically people that basically lived on the streets, women that were into prostitution. You know, they said they used to go to heroin because it used to help them sleep on the night time, it helps them forget. And then I just had this urge inside me to go and try this. And once I tried that, I just felt this like warmth, as if it had just filled this big hole that I'd been searching for. What I was like trying to fill it with, it was, I didn't even know what I was trying to fill, I didn't even know what I wanted, what I was looking for. But once I tried that drug, it was just this feeling, this euphoric feeling that was just all over me. And yeah, once I had a taste of it, I couldn't put it down. You know, and then it went on to the crack as well. You know, when I look at like, you know, my life, I was doing alright, you know, with money and things. Yeah, it weren't legitimate money. But I classed myself sort of like, 'cause I only smoked weed at that time. But as soon as I put them drugs in my system, something just changed inside me. Yeah, I didn't care about anyone else. Stopped me being a father to my children. Stopped me being a partner to, you know, to my missus. Everything I'd craved, this loving family she'd given me. But once I got them drugs inside of me, none of them mattered. She didn't matter, my kids didn't matter. You know, it was all about me. And this continued for, getting on for like 5 years. You know, I just didn't want to, I couldn't face life without them drugs. You know, it was just the same thing, put me even more to crime then, because you're trying to get more money, you know, the lying, you know, how deceitful I was to my partner. It was, you know, I look back on it now and these things, you know, they hurt me, but I have to remind myself I don't do those things anymore. I also didn't think of a way out for me, that I'd actually ever be given a chance to live a normal life, because I'd never had. I didn't know what a normal life was, what, you know, was like. Yeah, I went into the BAC. You know, before I didn't even know that, you know, about how like readily available rehabs was, and like, you know, places like Narcotics Anonymous, which is where, you know, I've put a lot of my time goes into that now, because that's my medicine for my recovery. Yeah, I went to a drug service when I actually moved out of my family home to get off drugs. And all that didn't just enable me to use more. But you know, in a desperation, I actually tried taking my own life on numerous times. Yeah, it was very painful. When I didn't have my family around and it was just left with just me, my using just went to another extreme. And yeah, it got to the point where I tried taking my own life 7 times in 2 years. I tried committing suicide, and I remember every time I woke up, I was devastated. That, you know, I just wanted to die. But when I look at it now, it was a cry for help. You know, but I was too much of a stubborn person to actually admit that I was actually suffering on the inside, and I'd like fix the way I was feeling, like I say, or violence, you know, taking drugs, gambling, anything to try and like stop me looking inside of myself. And I always think that worked. But when I first started going to this other drug company called Better Way, and that was someone that founded that company was someone that came through the BAC as well. You know, I actually got a little glimpse, and someone just looked at me and had some hope, give me hope that I could actually change. But you know, it took, you know, the recovery doesn't grow on you in a day. You just have to keep doing the right things, you know, just keep doing the right things, doing the suggested things, and each day recovery seems to get better. I couldn't stay clean out there. Even though I was going to this Better Way place, you know, I'd be like, my using dropped down. You know, I got to using like just 3 times a week and then twice a week. But You know, I needed to go somewhere where I could talk about what had happened to me as a child, you know, how it made me feel, somewhere safe where there was no drugs or drink available. And I got the opportunity to go into the BAC. I didn't know what to expect. I kind of thought nothing's going to fix me because I was so arrogant with it, you know. I kind of had hope there, but then there's a part of me was going, this isn't going to work. You know, I just basically went into there to basically tick boxes to my partner. I could see my children again. I thought, right, I'll go in here. I didn't know what was going to happen to me. This feeling that I have now, I never thought this feeling would be possible. Yeah, I went into the BAC. I was weighing, I think it was like just under 12 stone when I went into there. But it was a crazy part of insanity. I actually thought I looked alright because I had, you know, some decent clothes on. I thought, yeah, I'm not that bad, but bloody hell, I was a flipping absolute mess. You know, as soon as I went into there, it was just the amount of love, care that I received in there. It was something that I'd never actually quite, like, I didn't know what it felt like, you know. I did a 14-week programme in there with some absolutely amazing therapists in there. You know, I got a chance to talk about, you know, what had happened to me from a young, but with a lot of understanding. You know, I had a lot of care, and it's not just like from the therapists, it's the actual, like, everyone that's inside those rooms, you know, all my peers and stuff, you know, the support. Aside from one addict helping another, and that's basically what we had, a room of people. And they're saying, you know, it's not an I programme, it's a we programme. You know, we together help fight us being in addiction, and that's what it was like in you know, into there. You know, like I say, Marie, Ed, Nick, Roxy, Kev, the therapy, you know, therapists were just like, yeah, it's hard to explain. I can say they just kept lighting lights in my stomach every single day. I had something new that was going on. And yeah, and since, you know, since I left there, I graduated on the 6th of February. Moved into a recovery house. Where when you're at this recovery house, you know, you basically come down and volunteer at a place, at Langan's tea rooms. I was kind of thinking, like, me working in the tea rooms and serving food, me, so as if I was like too good, you know, for this. And do I need structure in my day? Well, I'm alright now. I kind of look to myself, I'm kind of fixed. I'm not using drugs, but it was like, this is like the next part of my journey that I've done. It's actually, you know, this place has been godsend, because, you know, and I even tell myself, and I'm not embarrassed to say, if I would have left the BAC and then would have gone off onto my own devices, I don't think I'd be where I am today. I don't think I'd still be clean either, because I still had, you know, there was still trauma that was inside me, because there's only so much you can get through in 14 weeks. But, you know, when I did have those problems, I still had staff that were up the house, staff that were here, that had been really supportive to me, that, you know, gave me someone to talk to. You know, and then I have Kev Lang coming out of his own time to, you know, to give me trauma therapy inside these rooms, which now, you know, I never slept for years. I was like basically an insomniac with just nightmares galore. You know, since me coming into recovery, I've like, my sleeping's better. I have my children back in my life now, and I don't have to force myself to be a dad anymore. It's just something that comes natural. It's given me inner peace, you know, in myself. My anger levels are just like completely gone, and you know, it's made me realise that I am enough just being me. I don't have to portray myself to be something that I'm not, you know, to be aggressive, to sell, to try and get people to like me. You know, just me being me is enough. And you know, BAC taught me that. They've, you know, gave me these tools, and, you know, problems that come to me now, it's just kind of, you know, every now and again I still have a thought of addiction, but it's helped me gain acceptance on the consequences of my use up. And they say the BAC, you know, we can't guarantee you that you're never going to use again, but what we can guarantee you is that you're not going to enjoy it, you know. And yeah, it's just that, you know, the consequences of my use up is me losing everything now, which will basically the death of me. Yeah, that I owe that place my life, and without me going into that rehab, I wouldn't be alive today, you know. And I've actually been given an opportunity now. I've been here for 6.5 months, working in the kitchen now. I've been given an opportunity now for a part-time job here, which, you know, if someone would have told me how my life would be now before I went out centre, when I first put the centre, well, you know, in 10 months' time, guys, you're actually going to have a part-time job as a chef. Your kids are going to be back in your life. You're not going to be having no nightmares. You're not going to want to be using drugs. You're going to be at peace. I was just told, look, get out of here. Just thought it was all be a lie. You know, what that place has given me is a new lease of life. You know, to the point where I don't want to commit suicide. I actually look forward now. I'm looking forward to my life, and I'm proud. I'm proud, you know. When I first came in, working in the kitchen, no, I'm not doing that. I'm actually proud now that I've actually been given the chance to better myself and be a part of the BAC, you know, as a member of staff. It's yeah, it's an absolutely amazing, life-changing place, that is, and I'll look forever for my life, always have gratitude towards the therapy team there, and like I say, the BAC itself, because it's like I say, it's there to change lives, and it's, you know, people are out there struggling that don't seem to think that there's any way out. There is always a way out. Not everyone gets a chance to, you know, experience what I've managed to experience, and that's the gift of recovery, you know. Yeah, I'm a super grateful addict, and, you know, I'm actually, people say, you know, they wish you weren't an addict. I'm actually grateful I can call myself, that I was an addict, and call myself an addict, because of the community that has been created by, you know, the BAC with, you know, people that have gone through and graduated. You know, like the tea rooms, you know, we've got a room in the back where everyone comes down for coffees and stuff, you know, the connection that you've got inside of here. I think if this place wasn't here, it would be a disaster. It would be disastrous to this community and people, because it's like the importance of it. And I tell people, because it's like, say, passing a message on. You know, people that come, you know, first come out of rehab into there, they got a lot nervous and stuff, you know, so I was just put them like, it's all right, you know. This place, it's good. It gains you structure and some structure to your day. You got a chance to better yourself, and yeah, it just changes a person. Have a love around you, because that's what the biggest thing is. Why a lot of people kind of went to addiction, because to fill that void that we've had inside ourselves, you know, which is a lot of people, is a lack of love. You know, to have to feel love and to feel wanted, which is what this place gives to people, is just, yeah, it's an amazing feeling, you know. And there's not a drug on this planet that could make me feel any better than what I'm feeling now, you know. And this has been a lot of hard work as well, you know. I've had to, it's not like being come easy. It's like we have a book, there's a book called Just for Today. I live my life on just for today, you know, because back out there in addiction, I'll be planning things years ahead, or if I, you know, I've had to like stop using. I'm never going to be able to like get drunk at Christmas. I'm never going to be able to get off my head on New Year's Eve. Now I live my life just for today, you know. So I just get through each day at a time. And you know, in some days I'm a normal person, I'm not just an addict. I can have a bad day, you know, and it's all right to have a bad day, because I've only got that bad day on that day. So if I'm on a bad day, I can get accepted and just go, you know what, this isn't my day today, and I'll just get through that day. But I don't actually have many bad days. In fact, I have no bad days, because bad days was me jumping off a balcony with a noose around my neck, which was only like, not July just gone, the July before that. You know, and me being that wrecked and not tying the noose around it, and just went smash onto the floor, took a massive overdose, all on my own. Crying my eyes out. That is a bad day. You know, these bad days, these ain't bad days, they're all good days, but you know. And yeah, just want to say just a big massive thank you to the BAC and to Langan's Tea Room, Simon and Sally. You know, they've been like, you know, they're like the managers here. They've just been like really, really supportive to me. And I've got friends beyond my wildest dreams now. You know, I'm actually being a dad to my children. I'm doing all the right things that I should have been doing years ago, and it's like I say, you try and make amends for your past. Can't change my past. I can't change the people that I've hurt. I can't change, you know, in not being a dad to my children or part. All I can do is just concentrate on me now, me doing the right things.